This is the AEW Control Center, and I'm Tony Schiavone. Coming out of AEW Dynasty this past Sunday, a lot of things to talk about. First of all, there's a new AEW World Champion. Congratulations to Swerve Strickland. With a win over Samoa Joe Sunday at Dynasty, Swerve becomes the 11th World Champion and first ever African-American singles World Champion in AEW history. Also, Matthew and Nicholas, the Young Bucks, our EVPs, win the ladder match and thus the tournament, beating FTR to claim the vacated AEW World Tag Team Championship, thus becoming the first three-time AEW World Tag Team Champions. But it was the shocking appearance of Jack Perry, who, under a mask, ran in to help the Young Bucks to victory. Perry was later escorted out of the arena. Willow Nightingale continues her rise as one of the great women's stars in AEW as she captures the TBS Championship over Julia Hart, only to see Mercedes Moné arrive and steal the spotlight. Roderick Strong is still the international champion, besting Kyle O'Reilly. Kazuchika Okada retains the Continental Championship in a Matt Classic over Pac. And timeless Toni Storm holds off Thunder Rosa for the Women's World Championship. We had other incredible matches as well, including an unforgettable match, as anticipated, between Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay. Ospreay's the winner. The good news is Danielson is going to be okay after suffering what was an apparent neck and head injury at the end of that match. Now, if you missed the event or want to see it once again, the encore presentation of AEW Dynasty is now available on Bleacher Report, cable and satellite providers, TrillerTV.com, PPV.com, and YouTube. And now tonight, it's time for a very special edition of AEW Dynamite as we come to you live coast to coast at 8/7 Central, 5 Pacific, with 2 blockbuster hours on TBS. Tonight's event originates from our home, Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. For our fans who want to be a part of this homecoming event, tickets are available at AEWTIX.com. As you know, back on April 4th in Chicago, Jon Moxley becomes the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. And he made his return to AEW last week on Dynamite in Indianapolis.
One of the first championships I ever won, you know. Salvation Army Community Center in Fountain Square right here in Indianapolis. Funny. Now, even back then, 20 years ago, I was swimming upstream. I never really had the wind at my back. I've never had help. In fact, a lot of people try to tell me what I can and can't do, what I can and can't accomplish. Well, my message for them is the same now as it was 20 years ago. Kiss my ass and watch me. Watch me. Watch me as I climb mountain after mountain after mountain. Because being great is not about what other people say. It's about what's in here. Now, if you didn't know, this is the IWGP Championship. This championship is steeped in history. It is illustrious to the extreme, and I have been chasing it for 5 years. 5 years of pain and heartache, of wins and losses, pints of sweat and blood, thousands and thousands of miles back and forth across the ocean. I've been chasing it. 5 years ago, a lot of people said me holding this championship, especially holding this championship on live on Dynamite, was impossible. It wasn't impossible. Not if they knew what was in here. Not if they knew what was inside me. Because that is what this is all about. When your back is against the wall, how deep can you dig? When you feel like you've got nothing left, when you're choking on your own blood, how deep are you willing to dig? How far are you willing to go? Are you willing to dare to be great, to prove the doubters wrong, to show the world that's what AEW is about? Which brings me to my point, this Don Callis family. Some very, very talented individuals have got themselves in league with this Don Callis. Don Callis is a creep. I have no time for this Don Callis, and he is feeding them lies, and they are buying them. And what's worse, over the weekend, these guys, they put a hit out and tried to injure my friend, my teammate, Bryan Danielson. Now, if you're gonna put a target on Bryan's back, you might as well put a target on mine. You guys wanna get violent? You wanna be tough guys? Well, you're welcome to come find me. I'll be here all night. But I suspect maybe I'm not your type. Now, what I could do is run up on y'all with a tire iron and blast you in the back of the head. What I could do is run you over with a car in the parking lot here tonight. But I get the sense that you won't learn nothing. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pick the biggest, baddest, meanest one of all y'all. Powerhouse, Will Hobbs. And I'm gonna challenge Will Hobbs to a match 1 week from tonight in the main event of Dynamite in Jacksonville. And Will accept. And in that match, Will find out just how out of his depth he is when he steps into the ring with the IWGP World Champion. Because I'm not gonna make it quick, and I'm not gonna make it easy. I am gonna drag Will Hobbs to the deepest waters that there are, and he will look around and he will see no shoreline, and when he asks the referee to come rescue him or he sinks to the bottom of the ocean, he will know the difference between me and him, and he will know that Don Callis is feeding him lies. He will know that him, just like everybody else in this business, none of you, nobody can touch me. There are a lot of great wrestlers in the world, but there is only one, and there is ever gonna be one, Jon Moxley.
Tony Khan this sign as Moxley's return to AEW. A match tonight on Dynamite. Moxley to face Powerhouse Hobbs one-on-one. But then this past Saturday on Collision, after Hobbs picked up yet another dominant win, his manager, Don Callis, did some maneuvering.
I have something important to say. The Don Callis family is the talk of professional wrestling. We got a bunkhouse match tonight, which, by the way, out of concern for my personal safety, I will not be at ringside. Everybody's talking about this man, Will Hobbs, taking on Jon Moxley, the new IWGP champion. That's what you know. Now let me tell you what you don't know. Let me educate you. Everybody knows that I was directly responsible in 2017 for Kenny Omega winning the IWGP title. Everybody knows the biggest match in the history of Japanese wrestling was Jericho Omega at the Tokyo Dome in 2018. That match was signed, sealed, and delivered by Don by God Callis. A match that set New Japan on a new course of success that they enjoy to this day. And when they thanked me for the favor, or as they call it, ongai, I said one day I may come and ask you for a favor. And in Japanese culture, we honor those commitments. So you see, I waited 6 years to cash in that chit. But today, I've been burning up the phone lines to Tokyo. I cashed in all my chips, all my favors, and I'm happy to announce that the match on Dynamite between Hobbs and Moxley will now be for the IWGP Championship.
Whoa. Ho-ho.
And one more time, the IWGP Championship will come home to the Don Callis family.
So tonight's match is now officially for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. First time that this prestigious championship has ever been defended on AEW television. This past Saturday, live on Rampage on TNT, Moxley responded to Callis and Hobbs.
Well, things just got more interesting. Next week, the IWGP Championship will be on the line for the first time ever on Dynamite. That is one hell of a powerful cell phone you have there, Mr. Callis. Hey, I wasn't planning on losing anyway, and I like playing this game better when the stakes are higher, when the clock is clicking down to zero, when there is no room for error, when it is truly do or die. My hand only gets steadier. I was born for these moments. But hey, let's say next week in Jacksonville, I get struck by lightning, and Will Hobbs shocks the world. From Oakland to Tokyo, new IWGP champion. What a story that would be, if you like fairy tales. And Don Callis would sit right next to you on the plane on the way to Japan. He'll sit next to you at the press conference. But has he truly been where you have been? Does he know you, who you are, and where you come from? I do. And I will be in the ring with you next week, not Don Callis. I've always known you've had something in here, Hobbs. I've always known it. Next week, if you haven't found that thing inside you that I talked about, it's not about championships and contracts and fancy cars, that all comes later. If you haven't found it in the week that I've given you, I will find it for you. Next week on Dynamite, what I'm gonna give you is a gift. I'm gonna show you who you really are. But that gift is going to be a very bitter pill to swallow. Hey, it is pro wrestling. Anything can happen. So take this advice. Don't hesitate for 1 second, because I won't.
So fans, we're set for Moxley versus Hobbs tonight live on AEW Dynamite for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Also, on Sunday at Dynasty, after his win over Matt Sydal, Trent Beretta carried things a little too far. And then
Referee Mike Posey is demanding that Beretta release the holding. Now, Matt Sydal's brother Mike finally intervening, and that's the only thing I think that Beretta pulling out that rare submission hold. Oh, another shot from behind on Mike Sydal.
Yeah, see, again, I get whatever it takes to win a match, but then after it, I don't understand this at all. I don't know what he's trying to prove. I don't know if he's trying to send a message.
I think it's more of a message. Now, let's Chuck Taylor. And Trent Beretta not waiting around to hear what Chuck Taylor has to say.
Chuck, I don't know what your problem is, man. I've been trying to text you. I've been trying to call you. You're not responding. And honestly, you're kind of acting like a prick. I'm giving you until this Wednesday, Dynamite, Jacksonville. You tell me where you stand. You tell me where you stand.
Ultimatum from Trent to Chuck for this Wednesday in Jacksonville and Dynamite.
Trent Beretta gives Chuck Taylor the ultimatum to pick a side, his side or Orange Cassidy's. What will Chuck Taylor decide? We should find out tonight live on Dynamite. This and much more live on AEW Dynamite on TBS. Tonight we are live coast to coast. That's right, 8, 7 Central and live at 5 p.m. on the West Coast tonight. The event tonight originates from Daly's Place. It's our homecoming with tickets available at AEWTIX.com. Tonight is the first of 2 big nights of AEW action from Daly's Place in Jacksonville. This coming Saturday, April 27th, join us for AEW Collision and Rampage, both live back-to-back on TNT. Once again, originating from Daly's Place on Saturday. Tickets for this Saturday available at AEWTIX.com. 1 week from tonight on Wednesday, May 1st, AEW returns to Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, with a big night of Dynamite and Rampage at the Canada Life Center. Tickets for a return next Wednesday to Winnipeg available at AEWTIX.com. The highly anticipated Forbidden Door pre-sale is available to you now. Get your tickets for AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling's Forbidden Door live at the UBS Arena on June 30th. AEW insiders, check your mailbox. Tickets become first available to the general public tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. For more information, go to AEWTIX.com. And you can get insider access to everything you love about AEW. Sign up to be an AEW insider at AEWTIX.com to get early access to all AEW pre-sales, merchandise offers, news, and much, much more. AEW returns to Las Vegas for a Memorial Day doubleheader. AEW Double or Nothing and the debut of AEW Collision at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, May 25th and 26th. Tickets officially are available. Get the best seats now while they're still available at AEWTIX.com. All in London at Wembley Stadium coming up Sunday, August 25th. Don't miss your chance to be a part of this big event. Tickets and information available at ticketmaster.co.uk or livenation.co.uk. Calling all haters, the long-awaited debut of Jamie Hayter in AEW Fight Forever is finally upon us. Conquer the ring with a barrage of devastating lariats and spine-shattering backbreakers courtesy of the formidable former AEW Women's World Champion in the Haters Going to Game DLC pack. Also included are 5 new pulse-pounding premium music tracks to pump up your Fight Forever playlist. Haters Going to Game is available now as a standalone DLC or as part of the Season Pass 3 bundle. Download today on console and PC. But tonight, everyone, it's our homecoming at Daly's Place in Jacksonville. AEW Dynamite live coast to coast tonight on TBS. Airtime is 8, 7 Central and live at 5 Pacific tonight as well. Tickets available at AEWTIX.com. For our fans coming to the event tonight, come early. Matches begin in Jacksonville at 7:30. This is Tony Schiavone from the AEW Control Center. See you tonight live in Jacksonville and through the lens of TBS. We are AEW, where the best wrestle.